Welcome to the Ageless Energy Show. My name's Drew, and I will be your host this morning, this afternoon, or this evening. We welcome you to ask questions. Those of you that are in here watching live, you could be watching live on Facebook in our private Facebook group, or you could be watching or listening as a podcast. So if you're in here live, you're certainly welcome to ask questions as we rock through this training. Today we're talking about entering the season of no. This is a really challenging concept for most of the world. We work with mainly women 40 plus. Usually over the years, we've been doing this for 20 some odd years. Burning body fat, gaining energy, and balancing hormones. Women as nurturers, this is a bit more challenging because everyone else goes first. So today, hopefully you'll take away that number one is that I'm giving you permission to say no. So if anything comes up that you don't want to do or that you know you shouldn't be doing, you're going to say, my coach, Drew, said, I'm in the season of no. Full permission to say no. We're going to get into that and so much more. Coming up, that was oh my gosh, I did Exploring Mind and Body for 10 years, 10 plus years. We're still doing it. We just rebranded. You could be listening. Right. You could be listening right now. And came from Exploring Mind and Body. What am I looking for? Okay. So I am going to make sure I'm in the right place. And let me know how you guys are doing. Let me know where you're watching from. Good morning, Karen. We are shipping your product out today. Thanks for your order. And come on now. Here we go. Okay. Awesome. Nice to see you guys in here live. And if you guys are watching the replay as well, we got Tracy's in here, Kim's in here, Karen's in here. All right. So this one is super important as we enter the season of no. And I feel like this is an important topic because there's only so much time in the day. Sounds like an oversimplification, but it's true. There's only so much time in the day. There's only so many things that you can do before your time runs out. And I feel like we don't realize that. We don't understand how important every moment is. And it's easy for me to talk about what's going on in our life. Like, for example, we have a growing family. Like I have a 2.5-year-old at the time of this recording. Some of you may be listening at a later time, but it's you really value your time, I think. I mean, I value my time more now than I ever have. I can tell you that much. And I understand that the tasks I do for business that aren't at all related to home or personal life, those tasks take me away from watching my toddler grow. And there's nothing more than I'd rather do. And that's a bold statement from me because I love business. Business is my hobby. It's my craft. It's my art. I love growing. I love problem solving. I love serving our audience, creating content. But there's nothing more than I'd rather do than play with my toddler. That's just all there is to it. And everything besides that takes away from it. And I think for us, we have to realize it's like prioritizing, of course, is a super challenging task for many. And I think if any of you that are in management or maybe in entrepreneurship or even a business owner, I think being a business owner and being an entrepreneur are two very different things. But you realize how few people can prioritize when you get into hiring employees and helping people manage their time. But I don't know if there's anything more valuable than your time. when it really comes down to it, the time is the most important thing any of us will ever have. And you know what's interesting? This is slightly off topic. I enjoy these shows because I get a chance to share my thoughts, and I appreciate you guys coming in here and listening. Good morning, Carmen. We got Sharon's in here. She's from Forsberg, Alberta. Kim's in here. I already said good morning to Karen, but shoot, I lost my train of thought. Good morning, Sarah. Good morning, Cindy. And Shelly jumped in here. You guys are more than welcome to ask questions as we get into this. But it's always nice to hear that you're in here watching and where you're watching from. So when it comes to time management in particular, we have to prioritize, which is definitely a challenge, putting priorities to the top of the list. We have to realize what it is that we actually want in life and what we're willing to sacrifice. And there's always sacrifices. There's always sacrifices. Anytime you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. And in most cases, as women, you say no to you every time. Every time something comes up and you don't really want to do something, or you could get your workouts in, you could get your meal prep in, you could show up to a group coaching call, you could get your measurements done. You say no to those things, but you say yes to other things. So you say yes to that trip. You say yes to that drink or that lunch or that dinner or that family gathering. And, you know, as I'll continue to repeat, it's more challenging for women. That's why these conversations are a little bit different. Someone asked me recently in the past, like, what's the difference between you working with women and like anyone else? And I said, well, we have different conversations. Like for men, it's a little bit different. Well, it's a lot different. And men usually don't want to talk about hormones very much. But my point here is that like women in particular as nurturers, the hardest thing to express is self-worth, and that you are worth saying no to other things in your life and to other people in particular, which means saying yes to yourself. And it's really that self-worth for you to be like, yes, I deserve this, and this is important to me, and that's what I'm going to do. Now, anytime I sit here and have a conversation with you guys, or sometimes we have people coming into are interested in our one-on-one program, which is called our Metabolism Accelerator program, I ask a few things. Number one is that you come in with an open mind. Number two is that you're willing to take action. And I can't remember what the other one is. There's usually three things. But what I talk about is certainly not mainstream. I don't think it's often what other people are talking about. As a wellness coach, I just like to call myself a performance coach. Like, I'm trying to help you guys perform the best possible in your life. And that is not possible without prioritizing and without saying no. And here's the thing is that when people hear that, like even when I say that title, there's people like instantly almost offended, like, why would I say no? Right? You say no, but that's the same mindset of lack instead of abundance. So when you're saying no to someone, you're actually saying yes to something else. So instead of thinking of all the lack thereof by saying no in your life, you're not limiting the things that you're doing. You're actually increasing or improving or focusing. And focusing today, oh my gosh, focusing today is easily one of the most challenging things any of us will ever do. In a single day, there is so many distractions. There's endless, constant distractions, mostly around technology, because we have our phones at our fingertips, we have laptops, we have computers, you have the TV on, and like we're multitasking, right? So you're like trying to have a conversation with someone in the room, like a real human being, and then you have a piece of technology in your hand, you're scrolling through a news feed while the news is on in the background. And it's like, why do you think you're not able to focus on anything? Or why can't we focus on one single task without jumping around with 16 windows open and watching all of them at the same time? Maybe even having a conversation. We got a conversation with someone on Facebook. We got a conversation with someone we're texting. you got a similar conversation with someone in the room, and it's all happening at the same time, and then we're like, I don't know why I can't get anything done, or I don't know why there's not enough time in the day. And there's not a lack of time in the day. There's a lack of prioritizing that you're doing in your day, which usually means you're not saying no to enough things that are not important to you. So we have to go back to the things that are important to you. I'll give you a couple examples, and whether you like them or not, I'll leave that up to your discretion. But if you look at someone like Steve Jobs, I was just listening to this interview, and like, regardless of what type of person he was, he's not well known as a super happy person or an enjoyable person to be around. But who cares? Like maybe that's not what he was. Obviously, that wasn't a priority for him. It wasn't important to him. He was focused on growing his business. Whether you like Apple or not, he did an amazing job, and he was very focused on what he did. That's very clear if you listen to anyone talk about anyone that's been around him. Actually, reading his biography, which is super interesting. And like, those ultra successful people are very focused. And I heard the same thing in a different interview about Elon Musk. Like, how could you not be? Like, think about somebody that has changed so many things in this world, from electric vehicles. Again, I don't care what your opinion is about it. I'm just giving you an example. From satellites to spaceships, right? Like, you would have to be ultra focused on what your task is, right? And then really good at systems and delegating. That's for a different topic or a different subject. But just think about that for a moment. And you may not want to be those types of people, and that's fine. But look at the exact opposite of someone that may not be very motivated, or certainly not very productive, without prioritizing. So what we're doing is we're kind of wandering around the day without any clear path, and finding the direction and the success that you're hoping for, because there's such a lack of focus of what you're trying to get done. So when I'm talking about, I want to come back to this now in particular, when we're talking about the season of no in particular. So when you're in the season of no, and I mention this because of a season. When I talk about a season, it's a short amount of time. I talk about it as a season. Like, if you go to other parts of the world, like Hawaii, they don't have 4 seasons. They don't have snow. And we in North America, or at least in Canada where I'm at right now, we have listeners all over the world. But when you look at your season, it's a time frame that ends. And that's an important, that's everything right there. That season, knowing that that's going to end, is everything. Like, that's the very basis or root or foundation of the reason it's a season. Put it on a t-shirt. The reason it's a season. Dorothy's in here. Lindsay, Lisa, Donna, thanks for joining me, everyone. So I got to turn my notifications off. So knowing that this is going to be a season and it's going to end will help you stay on track, because as you enter the season of no, you're going to be saying no to more things than you say yes to. Oh my gosh, it's hard to breathe. This is this is mentally challenging, probably more mentally challenging than, I would say, I'm not going to say physically challenging, but actionable challenging. So if you're to think about what you're going to say no to, you need to have a very clear purpose and a very clear reasoning of what you're working towards. So I'll give you an example. We're working on our Little Black Dress Gala. That's coming up November 16th. Selfless plug. We have a number of our MAP members that are going to be there, and then we have a number of ladies in the community. Last year, we're going to do this every year. So this is our second year. Last year, we had 100 ladies. It was the biggest event that we've ever put on. It's a lot. It's a dinner. It's a dance. It's a DJ. It is a ton of work. And this is above and beyond the extra. We have manufacturers, and we have supplements, and we have employees, and we have coaching, and we have clients. Like, that's more than a full-time job. We have a few employees, right? So we're taking another undertaking when it comes to this gala in particular. And this is, so there is 20, at the time of this recording, there's 22 days left. There's exactly 22 days that we have left to focus, to get the things done that we want to do. And it's not like our goal is to create an amazing event that people talk about and want to come back to and want to bring their friends to. That's very different. That may seem like that may seem insignificant, but the time and effort that we're putting into this is above and beyond any other project we're putting into right now, besides continuing to run our business, serve our clients, and keep everybody happy. So that's it. For us to want to create a memorable experience is very different than, oh, we're going to throw this together and hopefully people come. Like, that's a very different mindset. So the time and effort that we're putting in is a yes to everything based around the gala, right? Which means it's a no to other things and other opportunities or things that could be a waste of time that may create challenges in our life and could for you. However, as you focus on what your goal is that you want to complete, you'll be even more, like, that's how you prioritize, and you'll be even more focused to create a better experience for what it is that you want. So I'll give you an example. Dorothy says, this is one of my favorite topics, and my mom jumped in here, and Rhonda's in here. We got a bunch of people in here. Thank you guys for joining live. So let's take this for example. For those of our members, we have a number of our clients in here and our members for MAP. So this is a 22-day sprint to, and whether you're coming to the gala or whether you're not, consider setting yourself a goal like this. You set yourself a goal that there's a time frame where you're working towards, and then there's an expiration date. So you have a very clear vision of what you want to accomplish or what you want to achieve. So I actually I did a little bit of work with this with one of our one-on-one clients on a call yesterday. And we talked about what they want to accomplish in these next 22 days for them to see the most results so they can look great, feel confident, feel accomplished as they present themselves in their little black dress at the gala. So what does that mean? That means that you're setting yourself up for success by saying yes to yourself because you deserve it, which means you say no to other things. So let's say for example, you want to get what we work together with in this particular circumstances, we worked it backwards and said, how many workouts do you want to complete in the next 22 days? So we set that number. How many meal preps? It was only 3. That's once a week. Only, like, if you were to break that down in 22 days or in a month, it's 4. This is only 3. I think if we compartmentalize and break it down and like use a little bit of math or numbers, we can say, I can do 3 in the next few weeks. Like, that sounds much different than, oh, I got to do that every day for the rest of my life. That's what I'm talking about as a season, and breaking this down and understanding that it's just short term. Now, as you get through this season, it could be another season that you're talking about, or another season, like it could be a different goal setting or something else that you're working towards, just for an example. Like after November 16th, there's going to be Christmas, right? So everyone is going to be going to their Christmas parties, and they're going to be family gatherings, and most people want to look good and feel good. They haven't seen family for weeks, months, or years. So it could be from mid-November to end of December, right? That could be another season, but without us breaking it down and saying that this is going to be a yes, and this is exactly what I'm going to be working towards, you don't know what the no's are. That's my point, is that, so we work through all the things that you want to accomplish in that time frame or in that season. And then you work on the things that you need to stop doing. And here's the thing, is that many times, to find the success that you're looking for, it's not the things that you should be doing to find the success. In most cases, it's the things that you, am I saying that right? Shouldn't be doing. Are you, like, for example, I want to get up to get my workouts in. So instead of focusing on getting up to get your workouts in, we should look at the root of the issue of why are you sleeping in? Why are you too tired? Why aren't you getting your workouts in first thing in the morning? That, I mean, obviously has to do with the day before of you sitting on your news feed, scrolling till midnight, not getting anything accomplished. And I'll take a step back here. I was invited into this ultra successful business group. I kind of won into a contest. There's thousands of people applied. They took 100 people. And I said to myself, before our toddler, I used to wake up at 4 a.m. And since 2.5 years later, I didn't, because of sleeping and because of, well, mostly sleeping, because his favorite thing to do is not sleep. So we're up throughout the night. And I thought to myself during this time frame, like, I'm probably not going to get up at 4 a.m. again in my life. That's what I thought. And then this opportunity came up. And my apologies. I just got a notification that my internet connection isn't great. Hopefully, you guys can stick with me. Can you guys let me know in the comments if you're still here, still with me? So, I kind of lost my train of thought there. So I had this new opportunity come up, and to be as productive as I wanted to be, I would need to get up earlier, before employees started working, before customers or clients started messaging, before toddlers started running around the house. I needed to get up earlier to be more productive. So I started to get up at 4 a.m. So what does that mean? That means that I said no to other things. Thanks, Angela. Thanks, Mom. I'm still here. Awesome. That means that I need to say no to other things. Like, I need to say no to staying up later than I usually do. I need to say no to time wasting, which most of us do anyways late in the evening. And I'll tell you why we used to get up at 4 a.m. is because we realized from 7 till 11, we didn't do anything. From 7 to, like, we're tired, you start to wind down, you grab your phone and scroll, you binge watch Netflix, and we're like, and I don't have any judgment. Whatever you guys want to do with your own time, that's your own type of business. That's your own business. It wasn't what we wanted to do. So, but it's irrelevant, right? If you go to bed at 9 o'clock and you wake up at 4, you're still getting a good amount of sleep in. I don't need any more sleep than that. I mean, I'm going to bed at 10 o'clock, 9:30. Going to bed at 9:30, up at 4. That's enough. That's enough sleep for me. But just mention 4 a.m. to people, and it's the same thing as an ice bath, right? You talk to people about having an ice bath, and like immediately shut down. No, like no thought, no conversation, no interest. It's just no. Even though for a few, let's take a step back and just say a cold shower, not even an ice bath. Most people won't even consider a cold shower. But if you were to take 30 seconds to 3 minutes to put yourself in an uncomfortable situation, your entire day, the next 24 hours would be much easier. And most people won't take 30 seconds to be uncomfortable. And so those of you that don't know, improved circulation, improved mood, sense of confidence, sense of accomplishment. I'm not going to get into that. I've had many conversations and done many shows about cold water therapy. Let me know in the comments if you want any of those shows, and I'll send it over. So my point is that the things that you're saying no to will offer you more opportunity to improve on what you're saying yes to. So if you're looking at improving your health, for example, you have a set time frame and something that you're working towards, right? which means you may be saying no to other things in your life. So you may be saying no to gatherings, or at least so many frequent gatherings. You may be used to sitting with your spouse for 2 hours in the evening watching Netflix. I don't have any problem with that. I'm just saying you may consider a different mind frame and a different action set. Someone recently said to me, how can I say this privately? They said to me, I would like to, how can I say this? I'm just going to close that blind. Stay right here. The sun's coming up. So I was going to explain. They said, they had two different options. They said, I would like to do this, but I'd actually really like to do that. And I said, well, you deserve both, but two different actions will offer two different results. So you're going to have to decide which is more important to you. Is that helpful? Do you know what I mean? And here's the thing, when it talks about I deserve, I really dislike that frame of mind, or I really dislike that phrase because, let me tell you why. Because often we'll say, I deserve a night off, right? I deserve to relax when I get home. I deserve to skip meal plan this meal prep this week because I prepped for the last 4 weeks in a row. I deserve to have that alcoholic beverage. I don't have any problems with alcohol. I'm just saying, here's my point, is that if alcohol may, let's just say you had too many drinks. I deserve to have a night of drinking. Okay, that's fine. But do you also deserve to have a hangover and to be less productive and to be drained of energy the next day? It's the same thing as your cake. I deserve to have a cake on my birthday because I've earned it. Well, I think you deserve to have a great digestion, increased energy, feel better about yourself, burn body fat, and feel and look great in your clothes. That's what I feel like you deserve. But there's two very different paths that will get you there. Extra drinks, extra pie, late nights out with friends, drinking with appetizers will take you one way, will take you down one path, and skipping that and finding better solutions for enjoyment or for entertainment, that will take you down a very different path. Dorothy says, I deserve a treat. Shush, Dorothy. Rhonda says, I'll send you the cold water therapy. Okay. We got Bobby in here, Rhonda, Sheila, Melissa, Patty. Welcome, everyone. So some of the things that you may consider, and I mean, it might sound extreme. Maybe it's extreme. I don't know. I think that living one way and never seeing the results that you're looking for, never setting a goal, never stepping outside of your comfort zone, never finding something to strive towards, I think that's extreme. I think that's extreme to not work towards something and feel the accomplishment of what that is when it happens. I did the Spartan race, which is my hair is red. We were in Blue Mountain, Ontario, and I was working towards my goal was to complete all the obstacles. I don't really care about anything else, and that meant to sacrifice in other areas, and that meant to hold myself back when I wanted to sprint or run down a hill, and that meant that some people would pass me, and that meant I would work extra hard in the skills that I was working towards, whether that's rope climb or jumping over a wall. And fortunately, this is the first time I've done I've only done a few. I've done, I think, 3 or 4 Spartans. If you're not sure what they are, it's just an obstacle course. Like you swing on rings, monkey bars, climb cargo nets, crawl under barbed wire. For whatever reason, I find that enjoyable. Angela. Angela says, yes, you do, Dorothy. The two of you, you're sabotaging my training. So when I'm talking about this in particular, I said no to many different things. So that may be You may be saying no to text messages. It's a crazy thought, right? You may. Dorothy says that was actually your fifth Spartan. Thanks, Dorothy. So that was my fifth Spartan, and that was the first time I completed all the obstacles. And like the empowerment feeling of having that in your mindset and working towards it and accomplishing it, there's nothing else like it. But when you talk to the average person, you ask them, like, what are you working towards? What goals do you want to achieve? What do you want to accomplish? You get a blank stare. And I think there's a lot of internal work that needs to be done around that. And of course, there's self-sabotage and the feeling of worthiness that needs to be addressed there. I feel like I'm losing my voice here. Am I out of practice from talking from these calls? So you have to consider there's things in your life that you have to say no to. So maybe it's less scrolling on social media. Maybe it's you're deleting some apps on your phone that are wasting your time. Maybe it's no to family gatherings. Maybe it's no to text messaging. And here's the thing is that we have such a challenge with prioritizing, and that comes from not having that clear focus of what you're working towards and without a time frame, right? So when I said to myself, this was a 3-month challenge that I was accepted into, and it goes till like the end of November. And I said to myself, well, I can work extra hard for the next few months, and I can spend more time doing the things that I wouldn't normally do. Like, for example, if I'm saying yes to more time within this challenge of work, I'm saying no to time with my toddler, with my wife and family, which is a bit of a harder pill to swallow because they're so important to me. But also I understand the benefits and the freedom and the goals that we're working towards. And and for the limited time frame, it's a fair trade-off. But without having what you're working towards clear and set, it's really difficult to, like, what are you saying no to and why are you saying no? And then what are you saying yes to? In most cases, just think about women in particular as nurturers. So when we hear from women, and I've had thousands of conversations over the last 20 years, with women in particular, I ask them about nutrition. Like, tell me what's going on with food. And here's what I hear almost across the board, like almost exclusively with a few outliers of I'm having a little bit of maybe like no real breakfast, like picking at either the kids' food or it's like a donut or a coffee. Like, it's not a meal. When I say eating, I'm talking about you're sitting down and you're having some type of variations of the 4 macros, like a full meal. Very few, like picking at something. Maybe there's nothing, and then you have like a small snack at 10 o'clock. There could be a lunch, and then there's a big dinner. There's a big supper in the evening, and then that's like meat and potatoes and a veggie, right? Then usually snacking cravings in the evening. You hit the pantry, scrolling through your news feed, watching TV, and there we are, craving sugar cravings. And then women are always like, I don't know what to do with these cravings, especially at this time of month, but it's always there. It's more than a habit than anything, but that's for a different subject. So when it comes to you and nutrition in particular, you're saying no to yourself and nutritionizing your body properly. So what does that mean? You probably have a lack of proper digestion. Most definitely have a lack of energy. You're not able to increase your metabolism to put your body in a fat burning state, which what we call metabolic priming when we get our clients in the door and we start working with them. And then they start to feel more hungry and they start to have more of an appetite and they start to eat more food. It's actually, I'm going to do a whole class on reverse dieting here next month, but it's the absolute opposite of dieting and starving yourself and not having enough nutrients in your body. So if you're not clear on your vision and what you want to do, you're saying yes to everything else and no to yourself. You're saying no to proper digestion, no to more energy, no. And that's through, like, I don't have time to work out, right? And when someone says to me that they don't have time to work out, all that means is they haven't prioritized working out in their day, which means they're not prioritizing their health. So if you have lack of energy, it's because your day isn't prioritized properly. And maybe you're not sure what to do, but that's why you find a coach or a mentor or figure out some way to get yourself a clear plan so you know exactly what to do. You can hear from dozens of our clients, and some of them are in here now. You guys are more than welcome to share any of your success. But one of the first things they say is that I have more energy. I start to feel better. That's first. And then they start to burn body fat and they start to fit in their clothes better. And then they have more confidence. Like, it's a process, but without you saying no to things in your life, you're saying yes to everything else except yourself, which again comes back to self-worth. And I'll jump on a call with someone, and often we'll do just a free discovery call. And what are things that we can help with? What direction do you want to go? What can we help expedite for you? And often I will have a conversation with someone that will just flat out have no other reason but no. And that's directly linked to self-worth of, I don't want to spend any money on myself because I'm not worth it. I don't want to take the time to do any workouts because I'm not worth it. I don't have time to do the meal prep because I'm doing everyone else's stuff, like whether that's kids, that the kids in particular, you're making their lunches, you're helping your spouse pack their stuff. It could be the grandkids, but everybody else goes first, and then there's you, and there's no time for you. There's no energy left. There's no time left in the day, and that all is based around not following the season of no and living your life in the season of yes, which is yes to everything, right? And that's a challenging place to be in if you want to see results or if you want to see success. Sharon says, quit making Drew lose his train of thought. Thanks for the squirrel emoji, Sharon. Beth's in here. Christine's in here. Rhonda says Spartan sounds like more fun than triathlons. That's the thing, right? So Rhonda's one of our MET members, and we were talking. One of our members is doing a triathlon. We have a couple of our members that do 10Ks, half marathons. And then, I don't particularly like the running aspect. I'm not a big runner. I don't love to run. I like the obstacles. I wish there were more obstacles, to be honest with you. And so, Rhonda, you would pick something that would interest you. And it doesn't have to be running. It doesn't have to be Spartan. Like I'm saying, it could be. I know Rhonda in particular, and a number of others here are coming to the Little Black Dress Gala. That could be enough. That's why we created it, to give you guys something to look forward to give you a deadline to work towards, to give you something to build your fall around so you can work towards a season of no. And so you can say yes to yourself. Say yes to the dress. That's a thing, isn't it? Is that like a wedding thing? You say yes to the dress. You say yes to yourself, right? Which means you have to say no to other things. So it could be finances, right? You could say, I'm buying a dress and I am going to buy a ticket to the gala, right? Just for example. And then that means that you're going to say no to extra drinks on the weekend or appetizers with friends. And you know what? Here's the thing is you may need to say no to your friends. You may need to say no to your family. When it comes to friends in particular, I think this is an important one. In friendships, we have seasons, just like what I'm talking about here. And in most cases, when you have good friends that you're close with, you'll often say no to other friends, right? Or acquaintances. I think friends is loosely termed. And I think that actual friends, it was changed, the term friends changed, or the definition of friends changed when the actual sitcom of Friends presented itself to the world. So you had, how many was there? 8 of them? You had 8 of them that were the best of friends in the world. And they spent all their time together. And they had a great time. They had their trials and tribulations, but it was fun. And they lived in an apartment. And they lived across the hallway from one another. And it was years of, how long was the show on for? 10 years? It was 10 years of a great enjoyment, right? So we think that we should have friends for the rest of our life. And I don't think it's like that. I think we have seasons of friends that come into our life for a reason and for a purpose, and then they leave. and we try to hold on to them for the rest of our life. Unfortunately, that could be certain family members. That's a little bit deeper or harder to process. So let's focus on friends in particular. Those friends come into your life and you may be aligned with them. And you know what's interesting is I don't think friendships in particular, like I think friends are made out of convenience. Like friends you often see, like friends are from your workplace, or friends are friends of friends, or family members that introduced you to friends. Like just because you're in your close vicinity, or your kids or grandkids are part of a class and you meet some people, it's almost like an accident. I don't believe in accidents, but it's almost like an accident. You're not actively seeking certain people. You don't have an application for friends, right? They just come into your life because of convenience. And then when it becomes inconvenient, they leave. But we feel that we have to hold on to our friends for the rest of our life, or we're doing something wrong, or we're a bad person, or the friendship is broken. Like that's completely different. And like if you want to, like more personally, if you want to level that up, like we have friends in our life. We also have clients in our life, and we know that clients, in most cases, clients aren't going to stick around forever. At times, clients move on, and we have one-on-one conversations with our clients. Some of you are in here now. We talk to our clients on a regular basis, almost daily in our private groups. And it's a bit sad because you become emotionally connected to your clients. So it's a bit sad when they decide to move on, but you also have to allow that to happen because it's a natural progression of life. Our kids get older, right? Like we have seasons with our kids. Right now, we're in the toddler season. And then there's going to be the teenage season. And then there's going to be the adult season. Like, I'm not going to talk about this one too much, but you have adults still living you still have adults still living with their parents. And in some regard, that season wasn't allowed to leave. And I feel like there's much more benefits and much more doors will actually open if we allow seasons and relationships to pass, and as you create new ones. Otherwise, I feel like there's like a lot of energy blockage and we're held back in many different ways. But when it comes to what you're looking for in particular, it's through seasons of what's happening in your life, whether that's the program that you're currently in. And here's the thing is like, my God, like I think to myself, just for example, I think to myself, like if we have someone in our program, we don't do short-term programs. We do 6 months or a year minimum, and we'll probably remove the 6 month, to be honest with you, because the 6 month season isn't long enough to see the results that we want to help our clients with. But if you sign up for a 6 month program for anything, if I wouldn't even call 21 days a real season of a program. That's a little bit different if it's a short-term goal working towards a gala, for example, or a run, or a hike, or a canoe trip, whatever it is. But if you take 6 months, this for example, or you take a year, I think to myself, like that's a sprint. That's a flash. Like just think about your kids. Our little guy's almost 3. My gosh, that's crazy. 3 years have gone by in a flash. And I know some of you have kids or grandkids that are 10, 12, 15, 22, and that has gone by in a flash. And I think about how quickly life goes by. So when someone comes into our program and they're like, oh, I have a year to see results, and they're kind of like slowly moving through, and I'm like, I just think to myself, like, don't waste a moment. Don't waste a moment in your life like having toxic people in your life. Like we know every one of us has toxic people in our life that waste our time. You feel terrible after you get, like, they never give you a compliment. They're not happy with your success in your business or your personal life. They're jealous of everything that you do. Like those people in our life, like what a waste. It's such a waste of time. It's such a waste of energy. What are they doing in your life? They're not offering any value. And I would level that up. And if you really want to take an action step, I would look at your list of your friends, and even family members, and I would consider who is in your life that's actually bringing you value. And if they're not, it's a waste. Just like the program I'm talking about, like I think about whether that's 6 months or a year, or if it's 2 years, that's a short amount of time. That should be a full sprint. You should get everything out of that program. You should show up to every group coaching call. You should get every workout in. And I know that sounds extreme, but that I feel like that's how you see results. To be driven, a new word, to be driven and to find the success and to be happy and healthy and reach the ultimate place that you want to be. That's what it takes. That's what it takes. It's the opposite of, I'll get there, or I deserve to miss this workout, or like, you deserve to put in the work, and then you'll deserve to see the results and the benefits. And that's it. I just want to say, Carol jumped in here, Rose, Beth, Christine. And that's it. Like that's what I have for you today. So if we have an action step, if I could break this down for you guys as I wrap this up. My action steps for you would be to have a season. Decide how long that season is going to be. It could be from now till November 16th if you want. It could be from now until December 25th. Whatever that is. And I know some of you are going to be watching this replay months later. So whatever that is, you decide. Sharon says, I'm going to go through my friends list on social media and downsides. Awesome, Sharon. That's fantastic. Like if you were to simplify your life would be so much easier. We did a full training with our one-on-one clients of basically simplifying your life and how we've simplified our life personally, and how that has made life so much easier. From removing friends that are toxic to decluttering your house to removing apps on your phone. We went through a whole list of things that basically waste your time in a day, and how being more simple will actually improve your productivity. It'll offer more mental clarity. It'll make you feel better as like we rush through life. Like all we're doing is rushing through life. And then the next day we wake up and we rush through the next day. And it's absolutely absurd. I'm not going to talk about it right now, but I have a very comical thought process of planes and how people rush through planes and they just wait, right? Okay, I'll tell you real quick because it cracks me up more than anything. But you rush through everything, right? Like the when you're at the airport and there's nowhere to rush to. Like there's nowhere to go. There's just lines everywhere. So like the plane dings, like the seat belts. You can open the seat belts, and then it's like ding, and everyone stands up. And they don't go anywhere because you can't go anywhere. The doors aren't even open yet to the plane, but everyone stands up. And they're like shuffled and like bonking into everyone and like trying to pull their bags down. There's nowhere to go. And then everyone shuffles off the plane. And then you probably go into customs, right? So you shuffle to customs and there's a line there. So you got to wait to get through the line. And then it's like a mad dash. You get through customs and everyone rushes to the carousel. So you rush to the carousel and you stand there and wait. And you're like, what were you rushing for? And then your bag comes out. And everyone is like jam-packed against the carousel. Instead of standing back and then stepping forward when your bag comes, everyone's as close as possible to the carousel. Like they're like waiting for their bag. Is it coming? Is it coming now? And then it's a circle, right? And if Dorothy says that was the old me, I had to teach Dorothy how to travel when we met. She was the nervous traveler that always had to like rush through everything. So anyways, so the carousel is a circle where the bags come out. So if a bag comes out halfway through, you see people like running around in a circle to grab their bag quickly. Like if they don't get it soon, someone's going to take it, or it's going to magically disappear, or they'll never have a chance to grab their bag again. And I'm standing at the back watching all the madness. And I'm like, that's a circle, right? Just stand in one spot and it'll come back to you. You don't even have to move. Oh my gosh. Plane travel we travel a lot, but plane travel drives me crazy. It's like the worst efficient way to travel. It's like they cram as many people like sardines. Like the airlines treat you like you are, like they don't want your service. Anyways, I'm going to wrap things up here. Let me finish with giving you some action steps. So first thing is set your season. When is your season of no? You're going to say no to the extra text messages. You're going to say no to the extra appetizers, the drinks, the cakes. It could be 4 weeks. It could be 2 months. Just say no. I'm giving you full permission to friends, to family, to all the things that waste your time. So you need to set that time frame when that is and know exactly what it is that you're doing. Okay? And then from there, you're going to decide what your plan is and what the action steps, like I talked about. How many workouts are you going to get in this time? How many meal how many times are you going to meal prep? And it may not be nutrition or fitness. That's who our audience is in most cases. But decide what action steps you're taking, and then you level that up by deciding what it is you're going to say no to. Right? You're going to say no to all the extra noise and nonsense. I'm going to go to bed earlier. I'm going to stop scrolling through my news feed for 2 hours before bed. I'm going to watch one 30-minute show instead of binge watching 6. I'm going to go out for a walk with my dog, or with my spouse, or with my daughter, whatever it is. Okay? Clear plan. And then I would like to offer some accountability somehow. I'm not sure how I can do that. Those of you that are in our program, you're gonna send me a message and let me know what that is. And those of you, I hope that you guys can find some accountability. That's going to root everything that we're talking about. Finding someone, like whether it's a coach, mentor. I don't really think friends or workout buddies work out for the best. But finding someone to offer accountability will make all the difference in the world. And that's it. Shelly says, my bod and health told me no, and now I'm honoring me and my time. Awesome, Shelly. That's fantastic. Good for you. Thanks for joining live. Dorothy says, that takes some serious self-control. I used to be such a binge watcher. What a waste of time. It was a waste of time. Yeah. Dorothy and I would binge watch sometimes. And Dorothy's like, one more show. One more show. And I'm like, nah, let's go do something. Let's go be productive. But yeah, but now we're very productive. Thank you for today. You're welcome, Sheila. Okay, I'm out of here. Anything else I can tell you about? I'd love for those of you that are local, even if you're not, if you'd like to join us at our little Black Dress Gala November 16th, tickets are at trueformlife.com. It's going to be a great night. DJ, dance, prizes, giveaways. It's for a great cause. We're raising money for our local family. And it's really nice. It's really nice. We're getting tons and tons of silent auction donations, but there's only so many donations we could take. What would be nice if Kathy's going to come up and she's going to share her story. It's heart-wrenching, and we want to help out as much as possible. What would be helpful is if people came to the gala and showed their support, and let them know that they're not alone. And we're gonna have it's a more serious topic, but we're gonna have fun. There's gonna be dance, and then I don't want to get into this too much because I want to let you guys go. But there's like the whole introvert thing, right? And I was thinking about this myself because I'm an introvert, and there's a lot of things that I don't want to do in life because I'm an introvert, and there's people everywhere, right? In most cases, you got to go somewhere to do something, and I think that that's easily used as an excuse. I certainly have in my past of being like, I'm an introvert. I don't want to be around people. I'm gonna miss that gathering. I'm gonna miss that party. I'm gonna miss that whatever, that social event because I'm an introvert. It's just an excuse to say I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to step outside my comfort zone. I don't feel like doing that. I don't want to do that. So we have a lot of people that are coming that are introverts and are like not sure who to talk to or how it goes. Like me sitting in a room full of people is terrifying, and it sounds crazy because of the position I'm in. But Dorothy says I had to force you out of your shell. Dorothy definitely helped me, forced me out of my shell. And even today, I'm like, I don't really want to do that. And she's like, it'll be good for you. We're going to do that. So what Dorothy has done for me, I'm trying to do for you, is that step outside your comfort zone. There's so much value in showing up for yourself and knowing that you deserve it, and having fun and talking to strangers and being in a room full of inspiration and excitement and people that are accomplishing really cool things. So I would encourage you guys to come and have a great time because you deserve it. Have a great day, everyone. Talk to you soon. See you on the next one. Bye.